the quote this time around comes from an anonymous source. And no, that doesn't mean that it's like, some shady something. It's actually an inspiring quote. And I love this one. It is this: retirement is when you stop living at work and begin working on living. Oh, boy, doesn't that sound good?
Man, it absolutely. I mean, just think about that for a second. It says it all, does it not? I mean, for most of your life, you've been trading time for money, doing what needed to be done to provide for your family, to build a future, and to keep the wheels turning, punching the clock, meeting deadlines, putting in the hours, sometimes sacrificing your health, your hobbies, and even your happiness just to make ends meet and do right by the people you love. And let me tell you something, that kind of sacrifice is honorable. It's admirable, but it is not supposed to last forever. Retirement is the time when the tables finally turn. It's when life becomes less about obligation and more about opportunity. That's the actual reward for it all, right? It's when you finally get to reclaim your time. It's when the question shifts from what do I have to do today to what do I want to do today? But here, folks, is the part that most people don't realize. If you don't plan for it, you won't fully enjoy it, because retirement without a solid financial strategy is just a different kind of stress. See, true retirement is not just about having free time. It's about having the freedom to enjoy that time without constantly worrying about whether your money will last, what the markets are doing, or if you'll have enough to cover healthcare, to cover inflation, and everything else that life might throw your way. And that is where I come in, okay? My mission, both on this show and in my day-to-day work, is to help hardworking Americans just like you design a retirement that's built on clarity, on confidence, and control. Not guesswork, not hope, and definitely not winging it, right? I help people turn their nest eggs into predictable streams of income that they cannot outlive. I show them how to protect what they've earned from all of the market volatility, from taxes, and definitely from unnecessary fees. And more than anything, I help them sleep better at night, knowing that they've got a plan and not just a pile of money, but a real plan that supports the life they want to live. So whether retirement is right around the corner for you or it's still a few years down the road, I want to ask you one important question. Are you ready to stop living at work and start working on living? If the answer is yes, or maybe even I'm not sure, I invite you to reach out. Sit down with me for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement consultation. I'll help you understand where you are today, what your options are, and how to build a plan that puts you in the driver's seat. And all you got to do is give me a call at 704-560-1573 or visit the website at moneymatterswithmike.com. Just remember, retirement isn't an age, it's a destination. And let's make sure that you get there with purpose, with peace of mind, and with freedom to live life on your terms.
Yeah, boy, that all sounds great to me. And a lot of people, Mike, might say, okay, yeah, I'm emotionally ready to stop living at work, right? I really want to do that. But the thing is, okay, have you prepared? Are you actually ready? Like, do you have a plan written down on paper that you could say, yes, I really am ready? And I think for a lot of people, the answer to that is either no or I don't know.
Right. I talked to a 37-year-old yesterday just to kind of, laugh a little bit. She's like, I'm so done with work. And I'm like, you're 37. She goes, yeah, I can't stand working anymore. And I'm like, are you independently wealthy? And she said, no. I said, do you have a sugar mama or a sugar daddy? And she said, no. And I'm like, are you planning on living off the grid? And she said, no. And I'm like, well, let's get a plan for you.
Yes, that would be essential, I think, in that particular scenario. That's hilarious. I love it. Well, yeah, and at 37, I was probably saying some similar things, but I mean, you gotta power through, and of course, you've got a plan. And here's the thing. I mean, you said it at the very beginning of the show. We have a step-by-step guide for our listeners to help them get prepared today, and I am excited to go through all of these steps because, it really just dovetails very, very nicely from what we were just saying here. in that if you want to meet that goal of not living at work, then you've got to actually plan for it. And step one is to really make your retirement goals. I mean, it's like, I've said it before, but it's like, where are you going? What's your destination? It's almost like a GPS.
Exactly. And it might be shocking to know that only about 52% of people have taken the time to calculate exactly how much money they're going to need in order to enable them to retire comfortably. And that's according to the 34th annual retirement confidence survey that's conducted by Greenwald Research, right? So if you are in the early stages of retirement planning, you've got some questions that need answers. So you need to ask yourself, first and foremost, when do you want to retire? What is the catalyst that is going to drive that decision? And then more so, what do you want to do in retirement, right? How are you spending your time? Who are you spending that time with? And more importantly, how are you going to fund it? Because you should have a very clear picture of what your ideal retirement lifestyle will look like, because that's going to help motivate you to achieve those goals, Matt.
Yeah, it absolutely will. I mean, if you've got that goal in mind, it's gonna help, keep your eyes on the prize, basically, and keep working toward that throughout your working years. Just have that go. So it's almost like dangling a carrot out in front of you. You're gonna keep running for it, right? Well, then step two is to really, after you've set that goal, come up with a plan and implement a plan, but it's got to be the right plan. And I think that the only way really to come up with the right plan for the vast majority of folks is to work with a professional.
Right. I mean, while you're still working, I think it's really important for people to try to save at least 15% of your income as you invest for the future. And people may be going, what, 15%? I can't do that. It's a mindset, folks. You'd be shocked that if you set it at 15% and you get used to that, you'll actually find that you can live more confidently because you know that you're preparing for the future. And the reason for the 15% goal is simple. It's high enough to make serious progress towards your retirement goals, while it still leaves some room for you to work on those shorter term financial goals. So let's just say the household income is $100,000 a year gross, okay? And you invest $15,000, which is 15%. And whether you put it into ETFs or, whatever you're going to invest it into, if it has an average annual return of 8%, after 25 years, you're going to have just shy of $1.1 million. And that's assuming that you never increase your contribution amount, right? So if you're closer to retirement, you should prioritize saving and investing as much as possible. So a simple rule is, if you get a pay raise, increase your savings. If you get a cost of living adjustment, increase your savings. And when I say savings, I'm talking about investments, because no one ever got wealthy by saving money in a savings account, right? So you're not going to have as much time if you're nearer to retirement, but larger contributions because of higher earning ability can go a long way toward protecting you financially.